Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And I'm back with another recap of Tyler Perry's Sistas season 8 episode 21. Can you believe it? One more episode away from the season finale. Alright, this episode is called London Bridges. And yeah, this episode had some interesting stuff to find out. Like if you put two and two together, yeah, it makes sense. So Andy handled Danny's case. Danny got her job back. She got back pay. And on top of that, the icing on the cake, she got to get 75K. Because at first, Danny was just like, I'm okay with my job, getting my job back. But Andy was like, do you trust me? She was like, yeah, with everything. I bet. So now Tony, he wants to talk to her. And his attorney advised that he shouldn't do so. And Andy was like, I also agree with Miss Brown. And Daniel was like, it's all right. I got 75 reasons why. Now I'm good. So Tony basically was just like, how did we get here? And she basically told him, like, you just didn't listen to me. You wasn't trying to listen to me. You basically wasn't taking accountability for your actions. You basically made it seem like everything that happened till now was my fault. So, now you gotta deal with it. And he was talking about he wanted to get back with her. She was like, nah. He's like, so where that leads us? She's like, I don't know. She got up and got her stuff and she walked out the door. Yeah, because now you're contemplating your actions. Like, had you had been like more mindful and respectful of her wishes. When she told you the first time, you should be like, all right, cool, bet. We went right back into the office, like, listen, I want to rescind this application right then and there. But no, you let that joint drag on thinking you knew what was best for her. Mind you, you just came into the picture. And granted, she is right. She didn't have no problems serious like this until you came into the picture. She was fine doing her little job. Yeah, she complained about working every day, but she made sure she got up every day so that she could pay her bills when she got home and stuff like that. She already knew that she was good with where she was at. And it makes sense. Yeah, you literally let this white, like she said, white man intimidate her and antagonize her day in and day out. And you ain't said once to him. You supposed to be the VP of the airport. Where your structure at? Nowhere. You should have been went to HR and be like, listen, this man is harassing her and so on and so on. But you let it go on and look at you now. Look at you now, begging for her love and forgiveness. Tony, you should be ashamed of yourself. Right along, moving right along. Zach, well, yeah, Zach shows up to the office, brings Fatima lunch. Well, yeah, lunch and a drink, or breakfast and a drink. Talking, and she was like, "This is a big day. It's not good for me." He was like, "Yeah, I understand. This is the first day as Andy being managing partner, and we got a big case." And he was like, "So what's this case? Karen and Pam's business plan?" And she was like, "I don't be talking about you what the business." He's like, yeah, you do. So yeah, you got a point. So yeah, kind of find out Miss Marie want to add additional funds. We already knew that to the accounts they can meet their sales quota for the month. We're gonna see how that go. He also asked, do he have any information on Jordan and Gary? Basically, Jordan's been in jail for a month for attempting to smother Gary with the pillow. So they automatically put that stabbing case onto him. Meanwhile, Robin's packing up to leave. Andy's kind of sad. You could tell that she was like taken aback. And Penelope, she's just freaking irking my nerves at this point. She comes barging in like, I need to speak to you alone. Like, I would, if I was Andy, I would have knocked out right in the day, but then she was going to jail for assault, and then she would lose her job again. It's like, this girl is so cringe. She's really making me not like her. Because not for nothing, you're not a kid. You're an adult. You can make your own choices. You know right from wrong. Nobody told you to go attack that man while you was freaking 8.5 months pregnant. You knew how he got down. Andy tried to tell you, but you thought Andy didn't know better. Look at you. Look at you. So, Andy steps out. Basically, Penelope lets Robin know that, Jordan is looking bad. He can't, stand on his own 2 feet. He's been there for a month. And he basically thinks his actions don't have consequences. They think they're both entitled, that they can get away with stuff, and that it's Andy's fault. No, it's not Andy's fault. Andy tried to tell you what was game. Y'all tried to take what she told you and flip it as if she made y'all do it, like she held a gun to your head and say, go do this, go do this, go do this. And then the consequences ended up with her losing her baby and she's angry. Him going to jail and he's angry. She didn't put a gun to your head telling you how to do this. So basically Robin was like, he can't help her. But going to try to work his little magic. And yeah. So after that, Penelope hugs Robin. Andy comes back to see that. And she was a little taken aback. Meanwhile, Zach was like, I seen Penelope in the hallway coming in. And she's like, how did that go? I don't know how Robin and Andy's gonna take that. So Fatima was like, she about to go help. Zach was like, she a big girl. She know what she gotta do. Let her, work her business out on her own time. So after that, Penelope leaves. Andy goes to talk to her in the hallway. And of course, Penelope got to say some snide remarks to her, talk about how all these men, she's like cancer, and all these men just don't know how to like let her be. But when you think about it, you behind all the men that Andy was behind. So what does that say about you? Yeah, you every man that Andy's been with, you're right there too. Gary, you dated him. Jordan, that's your brother. Robin, that's your attorney. And yeah. At this point, I think she's kind of envious of Andy, like she wants the lifestyle that she had or has still, because even though she ain't with none of these men, they still want her. So what does that say about you? Okay. Maybe need to change up that attitude a little bit, because right now you rubbing me the wrong way. Yeah. So after that, Andy goes back in to check on Robin. They have a moment. They end up kissing, talk about how he don't know if he want to stay back in Atlanta. He want to go back over to the UK, but he also on the governor's list to be a judge. And he also, doing the stuff in UK. So he's kind of torn between the two. He was like, the next move is on you. You either let me know before I leave. If not, it is what it is. Meanwhile, Sabrina's on the phone with Maurice. She didn't come back to work from her Turks and Caicos trip. She's talking to Maurice. Maurice want to know all the tea, what's going on, about what's her and Rich got going on. She was like, well, technically he's still my man and whatever, and he may be coming over here to apologize, but technically he don't need to come to apologize for what? Because you took that initiative, you let that situation die down. Where you just said, I'm just going to go ahead and have the kids with Damani, and that's just what it is. Now Damani wants more. But at the same time, I kind of see that good for her. Like, Rich is like, y'all keep babying the situation. Okay, yes, he can't have kids because his kids will come out having sickle cell. We don't know if they're going to actually come. But then y'all still could have went the old school method, did it the regular way, like normal people do. I mean, yeah, because before they had IVF, they only had the natural way. Okay? So, yeah. After that, Calvin knocks on the door. And she hangs up with Maurice. Calvin wants to come in and explain. He was like, can we talk? She was like, talk about what? At this point, she's aggravated, upset, and it's just like, you left me go about, because around this time, Karen was pregnant. So it was 8 months. No call, no communication, no nothing. 8 months, 9 months. And you just up and left without a care in the world. Talk about he don't want to show his face to her because that's like a cop out. It really was a cop out. You could have just been upfront and like, listen, I know how things are between with this and this. I just feel like I need to give you some space. He could have said that. He didn't do that. He wouldn't just talk about how his girl, she finally let him in after a while. They're talking. He tells her that he loved her. That his girlfriend that he went to go stay with in LA, she basically uses him. It's kind of like that the sex dominant stuff where like you whips and chains and stuff. So she basically uses him as a toy or ploy, and he don't like that. He missed the love that he had with Sabrina. Well, it is what it is. That girl understood his fetish, and Sabrina don't get down like that. Okay, it is what it is. And he likes to be penetrated anally. That's a little suspect. But hey, to each his own. So yeah. Um, Jordan calls Rich while he's at his job. Talk about he wants Penelope to be looked after. So Penelope is a grown woman. She is not gonna be looked after. She's gonna do what she wants. Look at her now. She ain't listen to Andy about the whole Gary situation. So what do you think she's gonna listen to Rich about? Nothing. But anyways, I digress. Moving right along. Hayden and Gary go back to his office. He's starting to put things into place. Hayden asks, do he have any memories coming back? He was like, I have a feeling this is where I was supposed to belong. And I don't know what I was thinking about letting Hudson, work for me. As soon as he said that, Hudson opened the door. I think Hudson was already there. He was just listening at the door. He was like, should my ears be burning? Because as soon as he said it, it was like right on time. So Hudson comes in trying to talk his stuff. Basically, Gary fires him. Then after that, he leaves. Hayden says, something, and Gary said the lines of my woman. He was like, yeah, speaking of women, you messed with my woman. He was like, huh, what the heck you talking about? So basically, Hayden tried to rough him up, push on his shoulder that got hurt. And Gary was like, I'm starting to remember now. But listen, I'm not playing with you. You may think this was that. And so Hayden is the reason why the knife is there. So he was like, I remember now, you was trying to stab me, but you couldn't do it. He was like, listen, I realized that your punk behind wasn't worth the bid for me doing, so I dropped the knife. And then somebody else stabbed him. Maybe it was Hudson and Miss Marie who stabbed Gary, because now that you think about their dealings together, it makes perfect sense. The only person that was there the whole entire time was Hudson. Yeah, it makes sense now. But we see, and then yeah. So after that, Hayden was Gary was like, "You really are my friend." He was like, "Way too soon." And then Gary was just Hayden was he was trying to shake Hayden's hand, and he was like, he walked off like, "I'm not playing with you. Don't mess with me or your girl or my girl, or you're not gonna end up in the hospital. You're gonna end up in Lake Lanier." And Gary talking about he love it. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So Hayden leaves. Danny, she's home with her bear on her phone, whatever. Next, she get a knock on the door. It's Tony, and she was kind of jumpy. She ended up throwing the bear and she knocking over a lamp. She got glass on the floor, whatever. She was like, well, I'll be there in a minute. She's like, all right, cool. Then she opened the door. She was like, I thought I said, give me a second, give me a minute. Like, he don't know how to take no for an answer. Like, give the girl her freaking space. You're not saying it like that. You just trying to rush all this onto her. Like, your accountability for your actions is like clueless and dumb and low at this point. So now he's trying to marry her, and she's just like, oh, Tony, Tony, Tony. Yeah, she was like, get up off your bad knees. Like, what the heck? Nah, I'm not trying to marry you, but let's look at this ring one more time. Like, yeah, it's just time to call this quits. And it's crazy. He can do that to her while they're dating. Imagine if they got married and he did something slicker than that. Oh, it's up and stuck. To he gonna be in at the bottom of Lake Lanier. Danny don't play. And then last but not least, the last of the story to tie us all together. Um, Karen and Pam, they start to get their business ideas off the ground. Pam tells her about, Maurice heating it up as lube. At first, she wasn't on board. Then next, she became on board. She got the help of her mom, Aaron, and all the ladies that worked at the shop. Pam supposed to go live day and night to promote the sales. They probably do some old fashioned way of like having everybody sell stuff, have like a party so that they get the people out, get the word out there so about their product. So that should go on that. And yeah, I think that's everything that happened in this episode. It might be a little bit all over the place, but it is what it is. And if you're keeping up with the show, you already know what's going on and what's tea. So next week, supposedly, we're going to see Calvin and Sabrina talk some more, I think. Rich finally comes over to Sabrina's and basically lets her know that he's still in love with her and that that's still his girl. And we're going to see if Andy finally takes Robin up on his proposal to be his girl. To be whatever. Whatever. We're going to see. All right. So, with that being said, yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.